I get aggravated about my people because they have identified with, they have identified themselves with the oppressors to the point that they have forgotten their roots. They have forgotten how we came about. So my people have just become so, like, anything white, they love it. Anything American, they love it. And when I say American, I'm talking about Caucasians. That's what they revered as supreme. Look, I don't like the word primitive. Okay, I don't like the word primitive. The technology existed then at that time. The tools that were available at that time, that's the technology that they're working with. Okay, and whether you like it or not, it has helped us develop the country that we have today. Okay, developed who you are, as a person, as you are today. Okay, but then yes, of course, there's colonialization. There are those invaders that came in and that ruined all of that. It ruined the peace that we were having. The Philippines were harmonized. We were living with other tribes. The AETA, the Africans, the first people that came to the Philippines were very peace-loving people. And there were people coming through to the south of the Philippines because they found themselves endangered where they're coming from, Indonesians and Malays, okay? They were coming through, and the AETA, the African people in my country at the time, they didn't turn away anyone. And instead, what the leader of that tribe then, we will allow you to be here. Maybe perhaps we can exchange. What kind of resources do you have? We have this kind of resource. We can help each other out. We can be kins. And so the ritual is that you draw blood, okay? The two leaders will draw blood. You will actually get a knife and make a swipe on your palm. And we call this in the Philippines sandugo. Okay, sandugo. Dugo is blood. San is one. So it was shortened. It was actually supposed to be two words. Isang dugo. Isang is the word which means one, and then dugo is the blood. So that's a ritual between two leaders of the tribes to say, we are now one blood. I see you as my kin. If you ever need help in the future, if you're in trouble, you can come to us and we will help you out. And that has been the rule of law. I really wish I could witness something like that. I wish I could go back in time to see how that takes place, right? It would be so awesome to see that, to witness that. There's so much more to learn, and I think it can only be gotten through discussions, open discussions. Peace, yeah, I think you have a piece that I need, and I do too. I think I have a piece that you perhaps need for your own thing that you're trying to build for yourself. That's why we're all here, really in this boat together, And so I mentioned I get aggravated about my people because they have identified with, they have identified themselves with the oppressors to the point that they have forgotten their roots. They have forgotten how we came about, how we were living before, because you can't say, I don't want to go back to that time when we were not wearing anything. We're not wearing anything, but there is peace. No one was going hungry. There's not a lot of bloodshed. And if there is, look, sometimes people will fight. Okay? Sometimes people will fight. You will have that. But not like the way it is now. Right? So, my people have just become so, like, anything white, they love it. Anything American, they love it. And when I say American, I'm talking about Caucasians. That's what they revered as supreme. You see, this white supremacy thing is very much alive, and it's typically very much alive in places where there have been slavery or a product of colonialization. You will find that there. Because right now we are so screwed up in the head that the women, even my grandmother sometimes would do this, they have bar soaps to brighten up the skin. Do you see how terrible this is? So if you're darker, perhaps, you're just your color, say for example, or light, and even me, I'm getting darker in the summer. Okay? If you get a hint of any kind of brownness in you, you're not seen as beautiful. That's actually inferior. So what they see as beauty is someone who has a pearly white skin, milky white, fair to white color, pale, That's what they see as beauty. And that is very enslaving here. Because to this day, women think that they're not beautiful because they're darker. Or their nose is a certain way. So if your nose is a certain way, and when I say a certain way, like if it's looking more like not pointy, meaning it's more flat and wide, right? That's not beautiful. But if it's looking more like mestizo is someone who is Filipino blood, but with Spanish and perhaps even some Caucasian blood in there. Now you're beautiful because you have those, interracial mix in your blood. And that is a problem today because you know what? Do you know who we put in power in the Philippines? That the Filipinos, a lot of the officials, government officials in the Philippines were predominantly mestizos and mestizas. Okay? So, what happened to the AETA now? Where are the AETA? And I think perhaps we need to dive into that.
This series and many others can only be found exclusively on Amexem. Quickly sign up with our 3-step process to get started. The link to access your trial is in the description below. We'll see you in the next chapter. Peace and love.